good shirt on you.
Thank you.
It is
Highlights my eyes.
It highlights your eyes and your hair. And your hair is definitely your signature.
It is definitely white. Yeah, it's not dark anymore. And we can talk about that maybe on one of these episodes, what they used to be or how things used to be back in the day.
Back in the
You're
day.
back to schoolishness.
Yeah.
What are we going to talk about?
Well, today
You're just going to lead it. I'm just going to hush up and let you go. I'll plant some questions along the way. How about that?
Oh, well, you're a much better commentator than necessarily a question asker.
No, now come on.
Yeah.
We'll see.
You're going to throw in some little funny zingers too.
That's funny you'd say that. I had somebody today, this guy's probably 25 or 30 years old, but his mom was with him for his reported findings first adjustment. Mm-hmm. And of course, Kyle's in observation mode. Mm-hmm. And we got him adjusted, got him post X-rayed. He was back. I was rechecking him, just kind of wrapping up. And his mom comes walking in the room behind me when I was talking to him. And she leaned over to Kyle and she said, are you going to be as witty as he is when you're doing this? Well, you got to make it fun. It's got to be fun for people. But you got to also be able to speak their language. I mean, not everybody speaks the same language.
But you've always been able to use humor to diffuse
Humor's gotten me out of so much trouble.
Yeah.
And I've always thought I was way funnier than I actually am. Like teachers never thought I was nearly as funny as I did.
I think they probably did, but if they knew what would happen. If they laughed, they would just be encouraging your behavior. I
spent a lot of time in the hallway.
I know. Yeah.
That's
okay. That's all right. So I just thought that we would recap our Ark Encounter trip.
Yes, good day and welcome to another exciting episode of, what do we call this again? Living Well Together. We're living well together.
We are living well together. Big life in a small town.
Yes.
We took a really fun little getaway trip to the Ark Encounter, and I was mesmerized and overwhelmed. Mesmerized at just the sheer hugeness of
magnitude.
Yes, it's gigantic. But once you get there and you're really putting yourself in those biblical times and thinking about what that must have been like, and knowing that it took him 75 years to build it, and knowing that he was just being obedient. They'd never seen rain before it started raining for the flood. All the plants were watered from the ground up. And so when he's building this thing, what is he thinking? But he's just being a good steward. And the thing for me is it just makes me question my own stewardness. Does it you?
Stewardess. Yes. No. And I don't mean to make light. I just make light of stuff. I've had a make light kind of day.
Yeah.
But no, you're right, 100%. And we were in Kentucky though for a different reason. Mm-hmm. We had booked a hotel to be in Kentucky for another opportunity that got rearranged. And so rather than cancel that hotel reservation in Covington, and we had a great opportunity to stay there.
Right.
And that's a cute little downtown. So,
it is.
But we were supposed to be there for one reason. That reason got rescheduled. And so we just kept the hotel and took a couple of days and used it to go to the Ark Encounter and just visit Kentucky instead.
Yeah, it was a good time to recharge for us too. Like sometimes even just taking, because what that turned into 2 days out of the office, but 5 days just for you to kind of decompress.
Well, I give people advice all day long, every day long about what they should be doing to manage their
self-care,
mental health and well-being. And sometimes it's good for me to take my own advice and just step aside. Mm-hmm. So, and I totally underestimated what the Ark Encounter would be. I've had so many people over the years say, oh, you got to go see this. It's really fantastic. Well, I expected to show up like you park in a big grassy field and you walk through the grass and you see this, kind of biggish structure that they built. And I had completely underestimated the experience. It is way more Disneyland than I expected it to be. Much more polished, much more finished. There's theaters, there's other venues, there's food and drink opportunities, there's
exactly.
souvenirs and gift shops, and
Plus just the inside of the Ark itself.
well, and that's just the perimeter before you even get in, though, is beautiful. The gardens are beautiful.
Yes, so pretty.
They've done a good job. It's a replica, a full-scale replica of the opportunity that Noah had.
Biblical proportions, right?
Yeah.
Yes, all of them
It is
are
built to biblical specs, what they could find and recreate just from the Bible. It's phenomenal. It's 2 jumbo jets long.
Yeah. And
when
so
you pull
tall.
up to
How
it
tall was it?
from a distance, you think, well, that's a pretty big looking boat. And then when you put things near it to make it to scale,
like people.
dude, it's impressive. And when you think back to the fact that they built it at a time where there was no diesel powered engines and cranes and earth moving equipment and
or cutting down trees even that were
getting the lumber.
Enormous. Yes.
Just getting the lumber.
Yeah. And how many sons did he have? 7?
I don't remember. Don't test my Bible knowledge.
Yeah, no, I won't. Don't test mine either.
Ham, Shem. I want to say 4.
Just 4? 3?
All right, that's a good search.
Oh. So
Yeah, we're not gonna play
maybe
Bible
son-in-laws
trivia.
too?
I'm an amateur on the Bible
Anybody
stuff.
that wants to...
Japheth.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you, but it was built to spec. It was built to house a significant number of animals of all types and sizes.
Was that surprising to you? Like, I'm curious, viewers and listeners, if you knew that there was a possibility that there were dinosaurs on board the Ark. I mean,
it's so funny because Christian denominations all have their own version of that.
Exactly.
Is it an old Earth or a new Earth? Is it were they there? Were they not there? So I try not to get too tangled up in that.
Same. I just went down there, and it's like I just embraced what it was, and I understand Ken Ham's. He is able to back up everything he claims. Yes. And there's, it's like, okay, that is one version.
God said, I'm going to dump water on the planet.
Yeah.
40 days, prep for that. So they had food storage, water storage. There was like a greenhouse opportunity. They had openings at the top that would let sunlight into the vessel itself. 3 stories.
Yeah.
Cages and animals for animals of all shapes and sizes. Right down to moths and gnats and whatever.
They kind of like use those for food for some of the reptiles.
Well, there's the whole circle of life.
Right. Some of that had to happen on there. Then they didn't have to
feed
bring...
them to keep them. But they had water storage. They had oil for burning and heat. They had to store wood for a fire because they made their own food. They had a kitchen quarters. They had sleeping and living quarters. Yeah. And then just enormous amounts of space to store the things necessary to start a new civilization 40 days later.
Well, it wasn't 40 days is when it stopped raining, right? They were on for a year.
A year, yes.
But yeah, so I don't know. And, part of it is that faith in the unseen.
Right. Well, that's what faith is.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, right. That's true because it's easy to be faithful if you knew all the answers, right? If you knew it was coming next.
How the story was going to end.
Which we do. We do know how the story's going to, but it's still,
It's not always easy to maintain that faith. There's something else that popped into my brain, and there's like 42 things in there all at the same time. But there's movies. There's 2 theaters in there where they show, evidence of a flood. And they talk about if there was a global flood, what would be the evidence? And so they do a very good job of where do fossils come from? Because one of the things that, and I think even modern technology and modern day scientists, they think, well, I found this dinosaur fossil in Egypt, which means that creature must have at some time lived in Egypt. Or I found this bird fossil in Australia, which means this bird must have been native to Australia. And the reality is, if there had been a worldwide flood, all that stuff would have swirled around like a big toilet bowl. And where it landed is not necessarily where it originated. And so the evidence they build, they show you how the earth is in layers. They show you, the displays are really very, very informative.
And it also dispels the carbon dating. You know, a lot of his research just dispels
And
that
again,
as well.
there's argument about what is scientific and which science are you willing to accept.
Yeah.
There's evidence of a worldwide, scientific evidence of a worldwide flood. And then there are other people who say there could never have been a worldwide flood.
Right.
So all that comes down to not only is there evidence, but what evidence are you willing to accept is a better question. But yeah, carbon dating, they have shown that to be somehow flawed science in some ways. And again, to get into the details of that really isn't my forte. I just know that it means everything is up for debate. Everything is questionable. And anytime somebody says the science is settled, that's when you walk away from a conversation.
Well, just wait 5 or 10 years and that science changes usually.
Yeah. Well, science today is usually you can follow the money and see where science is settled.
Yeah.
You know, 5 years ago, they said the science is settled. Take this shot. 5 years ago, 6 years ago, no, the science is settled.
Yeah.
That's not what science is. Science is always questionable, and science is always about digging deeper and finding new answers. So when you say there's no evidence for X, Y, Z, the question is not, is there evidence? The question is, what evidence are you willing to accept?
Right.
Is the globe
and
getting
what
warmer?
questions?
Is it not getting warmer? So the quality of the question will dictate the quality of the answer, and then you have to decide, here's what's a reasonable outcome in your own mind. But all of it revolves around what you're willing to accept as fact or fiction.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
But from a man-made display, just to think of the monumental task that it must have been. You're right. It was about obedience for Noah to have gotten this word that said, hey, I need you to build a big old boat. Oh, by the way, I'm also going to need you to have all these animals show up. Oh, by the way, we're going to need you to take, on supplies for this gap of time. And to do it, and I'm sure the neighbors thought he was a nut job.
Right.
Right? Everybody living around him was like, holy cow, who's the crazy guy building this massive structure in the middle of the desert?
Yeah. And we talked about that. Like, he would have been like a conspiracy theorist. He was the original conspiracy theorist, right?
The OG.
The OG. And it made me wonder also if, let's face it. I mean, our girls have always been very accommodating to the things that we have guided them through. But there have been some eye rolls probably behind our backs.
Oh, no doubt.
And it does make me wonder if Noah's 3 sons were rolling their eyes too.
Yeah.
Thinking, Dad, what are you doing? You're crazy.
Right.
Why are you making us do this?
Yep.
So,
but they got on board.
They got
on board, them and their wives. And by the way, we're going to need you to start a new civilization.
Because I think maybe he had daughters on there too. And maybe
Daughters-in-law.
Daughters-in-law. So he didn't have any daughters. So maybe 6 kids then? So 8 people total.
Basically
is all?
4 families.
Yeah.
His sons are 3 plus their wives and any children they may have had at the time. I don't know the answer to that.
I don't know if they did.
So yeah. But it was a fascinating opportunity. So if you're going to go, well, let's say we're going to encourage people to go see it. How old should you be to enjoy that opportunity?
I felt like, so I'm not a museum person, just pure, transparency there. So I am happy to go through and just kind of get a general feel for everything. And I thought the amount of time that we spent there was perfect.
Okay.
And I thought, and because we knew Honey was coming and she's almost 3, and we just let her kind of set the pace.
Well, you and I got there about an hour and a half before
we did.
Grace and Graham and Honey did. So we had time to kind of go at our own pace.
Right.
We could read what we wanted to read. We could get a snack if we wanted a snack. We did the little virtual reality tour thing, which was super cool.
Super cool.
So from a grown-up standpoint, you can move at your own pace if you don't have young people. But they had also this massive, super cool playground for toddlers and young people.
Yeah.
So it is a very family-centered thing. But if you like to read each display and maybe make sure that you're gleaning as much biblical history as you can,
right.
Little people set a different pace.
Right. And they also have something called a Bounder Pass. It's a 3-day Bounder Pass. And so you can go to the Creation Museum. You can also go to the Ark. And then I think you can do zip lines and
all kinds of
some
other
of the
activities
other activities that are right
sure.
there. So, just some flexibility. But we were there for basically half of a day, 5 hours probably total.
Right.
And I was good with that. It was awesome.
And from our house to get there, it's 2 hours-ish.
Yep, from the Dayton area.
But we were kind of already halfway there because we were
Right,
already on the other side of the river.
Yeah. Super easy to get to. It's just right off of 75.
Yep.
So that was good. Yeah.
scale of 1 to 10, 10 being super awesome, 1 being super dud, where would you put it? The experience.
The experience overall, well, I recently learned that if you give something a 10, it's kind of like, like, do you really think it's a 10, or is that just the easy answer? So I'd probably say an 8.5.
I'd say an 8. And if you've got people in wheelchairs or you've got people who are handicapped and need accessibility, that's there.
Yep.
They've done a great job of that. I mean, and they have really worked to accommodate every age and every function level for people. But it's a wonderful learning opportunity.
Yeah.
What do we pay to get in?
Well, I was going to talk about this for the next episode because this was the first time that we used our senior discount.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we're officially seasoned citizens.
This is the very first time we've been eligible for a while, but it was kind of like, I don't know, it kind of broke me a little.
$10 a piece or something.
Yeah, it was like, it wasn't just like a couple of bucks. I'm like, okay, I'll do that for $20 between the two of us. So I think it was like almost $70 for adults. It was like almost $60 for us. And then honey was free.
Yeah.
So I think under 10 is free. So, which is, I think, great. There were a lot of homeschoolers there, lots of homeschoolers.
Yep.
Not to
and people there from all over the world. I mean, there are people that you could hear different accents
impressive.
and different languages.
Yeah.
Every race, creed, color, religion, and they really don't do. It is a biblical perspective. It's a new earth biblical perspective.
For sure.
And it's designed to share that perspective. You may have a different biblical perspective. You may have no biblical perspective. So if all you do is look at it from how massive is this science project, it's still money and time well spent, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
If you don't care who God is or you don't know who Jesus is, if that's not your thing, it might actually be your thing by the time you leave. You would at least be asking yourself different questions about how this happened and why this happened. And, if you can open your mind up to the possibilities of that. And nowadays with virtual reality, it's like nothing's impossible.
Right.
Everything is so possible. And so to look back that far in a historical perspective and think, you know what, back then, God can do anything. Anything's possible. And so it is an eye-opening opportunity to say, how did I get here? What's my purpose?
Right.
It was fascinating. And I'm sure there are people there who were not necessarily believers that are asking themselves different questions now.
Yeah, I think that is very likely true. So, one of the things that we were also talking about is the difference between then and now. And that goes way far back. But even if we just go back 50 years in our society, the differences that we are experiencing as far as a society and our culture.
Yeah,
and
basically a generation or two. If you go back 2 generations in our culture, things were very different, actually.
Very different.
Technology, so much technology change and moving at such a rapid pace.
Right.
But when you go back to biblical times, again, what would have been considered high tech back then?
Well, whatever they were doing at the time. I mean, I don't even know. Maybe
I made
creating
this crane
a knife
out of logs to lift heavier logs. So the science of the time was there.
Right.
And I'm sure there were people back then, they're saying these kids these days, they're such a problem.
Right.
Them and their shekels.
Right. Well, but also, the fact that as a society now, we've kind of lost that skill of gardening and making our own clothes.
Oh, yeah, we've gone from everybody had a garden. After World War II, Victory Gardens, everybody grew some food, not maybe their whole existence worth of food. People, off the edge of town always had eggs and chickens and cows for meat. And so we've gone from a place where, now everybody just thinks food comes from a grocery store shelf.
Yeah.
Or a meat freezer.
Well, it's been really fun because Graham and Honey and Grace, when she can, have built these, what would you call them, Graham? They're
raised beds.
Raised bed gardening. Yeah. And we have been able to enjoy the fruits of his labor and little Honey's labor. And in fact, we ate a whole jar of their homemade pickles last night for dinner.
Delicious and crunchy. They did not go soggy.
So good. So cucumbers, and he just brought over a batch of tomatoes.
But back in those days too, money wasn't the only currency.
Right.
Because garden food could be currency.
Exactly. Or eggs, right? Yeah.
Chickens could be currency. And if I lived in town, but I wanted fresh food, I could barter for those things. I could trade out. Hey, I will fix your car if you will accept these eggs or whatever. Right. And those days are kind of gone.
Well,
actually, they might be coming back.
Maybe they will. But as far as from a gardening perspective, like, did your parents garden? My parents
No.
and my grandparents gardened.
We lived in an apartment. We didn't live in a house. We lived in an apartment with a very small yard until I went to high school. We got our first house in high school.
In high school, yeah.
And then we had a yard big enough to grow food.
Right.
But
that
I
wasn't
just mowed it.
So did your grandparents garden at all?
Nope.
Like vegetable garden at all? No.
Nope.
That was a big thing on my dad's side of the family. My mom's side of the family, they lived downtown Boston. They didn't have space to do that. They did have some container gardens that they would plant some things in.
But your Nana and Grandpa had a killer garden.
Oh my gosh, it was so big.
Right.
And I started thinking about that as I was putting the notes together for this. It's like, I wonder if Grandpa started gardening while he was still working a job, or if that became his thing once he retired. And I don't know the answers to that.
Because your Nana always had fresh food going. Your Nana was always cooking with fresh basil or fresh tomatoes for sauce or
zucchini and
all of it. My guess is they had a garden while they were still
Mom.
employed. I would assume that actually.
Yeah, and I don't know exactly when they moved to Needham into the bigger house, when they moved from Boston themselves into the suburbs, right? And then they had space to have a garden.
Now, did you guys always get together at their house on a Sunday? Your mom and dad, and you and your brother and sister.
So we lived there until I was 10. And I believe that, we kind of did. Not as much as we did when, like, to mom and dad's house. And then even now, like, what we try to do at our home, Sunday family dinner has always been, really
kind of one of our favorite things.
One of our favoriteest things. But we understand, as the kids get busier and everybody's doing the best they can. So when we can, we do.
Part of it is prioritizing, though, to be fair. I mean, we take care of a lot of families in the practice, and they're going 14 directions every single day. One of the kids has got to go to soccer. One of the kids has got to go to karate. One of the kids has got to go to baseball, softball, music lessons, whatever. And if they can actually get around a dinner table, it's
well, that is
easy.
one of the things that we were able to do with just the 5 of us.
Sure.
When we had that
the family unit,
when it was just that little nut.
And not that that's better or worse, but that was definitely for us a priority.
For us, it was a priority. And so even if it was 8 or 8:30 at night, when either Caitlin was done with Girl Scouts or Grace was done at the barn or Lily was done at dance, that's when we would sit down and have supper.
And then we would catch up on each other's day.
And do bummers and blessings.
Every Sunday.
Well, bummers and blessings.
Home church.
Well, we did it for home church, but we also did it
around the table.
Yeah. It's like, tell us about your day. And that was just an easy way to prompt conversation. It's like, what was your high point? What was your low point? How can we support you?
And we didn't have cell phones, so you didn't have to put your phone down.
No, it was so good.
That was nice.
It's so good. The phone might ring every once in a while, but you could just ignore it.
Right.
It was like it was across the kitchen. And so, so that was really important. And then that's a good time to pass down family stories too. The other thing is putting the kids to bed, prayers before bed.
They wouldn't even go to bed until we told them a story about when we were kids.
When we were little.
Tell me a
little
story.
Girl
Tell
stories.
me a little boy story. Tell me a little girl story. So we would have to kind of rewind some tapes and here's what we did when I was going to bed when I was a little boy, or here's where we lived, or here's, we didn't have air conditioning. Yeah. It makes you sound really old when you say things like we didn't have air conditioning. We had a fan.
Yeah.
But we didn't.
So we had
wasn't air conditioned.
We did not have air conditioning when we lived in Canton. So when I lived in Massachusetts, but then we had air conditioning at every home after that.
Yeah, I had air conditioning when I went to college.
Did you not have air conditioning in the house that you had on Western? Oh.
Nope.
Oh, you had the air conditioner units though.
Yeah.
They did put those in. But did they do that after you had moved? Okay.
I was kind of on my way out by the time they put an air conditioner in that window.
Yeah.
A window unit.
So you're talking about bartering and trading though, that kind of thing where you have like almost like community safety nets
To some extent, yeah.
Where everybody knew how to, they had their special skills, talents, or resources, and then
Well, that
like
and
the
kids could
village.
run. Gosh, we'd run that hill. Oh
Yeah.
my heck.
Yeah.
And you knew that if you got in trouble at Brian's house, you were going to get in trouble when you got to your house. And his parents had actually permission to discipline you if you were misbehaving. You know,
So
or
they would make
sure
a phone call and tell
your parents, or they'd walk you home.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
And you knew you had to be home, you know, when the street light came on or whatever. But gosh, we didn't let our kids run the way I ran when I was a kid.
I know. I wouldn't even let them cross the street in our neighbor. I mean, we lived in downtown Fairborn.
Yeah.
And it was a busier road because the bank was at the end of the street. You know, there was a street light there, and there were situations where there were cars that went very fast. There were no speed bumps. And so,
Dude, we would get on our bicycles at sunup and we would be home by sundown. That was the rule. And our parents had no idea where we were for the whole day.
Right. Yeah. Our
craziness.
Yeah. And like, I'm sure Noah had, well, no, he probably didn't talk to his neighbors. He might have tried to. So they didn't really have the front porch as their social hub. You know, Graham and his mom and dad and his sister, they all have these amazing front porches.
Right. In downtown.
In
All the
downtown.
homes do have a beautiful front porch for sitting.
Right. And so when people are walking, it just becomes natural to say hey to your neighbor and have that, you know, create that really nice fabric of
I would
community.
imagine Noah said hi to the neighbors.
Well, yeah, he probably did. I can't imagine. What do you think he got back?
He's around for 600 years. He's got to know his neighbors. Come on.
Well, he was around for 600 years. They weren't around for 600 years.
You don't know?
Well, they died in the flood.
Well, he was 500 when he started building the Ark.
Oh, I know, yeah.
He had some time with neighbors, I'm sure of it.
Yeah. I'm sure he was.
That crazy Noah.
That crazy
There he is
Noah.
again, building something in the yard.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, we talk about this a lot as a family, just how much we wish that downtown Fairborn would be that, you know, that could be more of a hub with some other types of, I don't know, shops and things
That'll
that
come
could
back.
draw.
You know, that all changed when malls were invented, and now malls are kind of phasing out and little downtowns are coming back.
Yeah.
It'll happen. Everything's on a big pendulum. It swings. It'll go this way for a while. It'll come back and go that way for a while.
That's true. Yeah.
And again, the pandemic thing, not to keep bringing that up, but that changed culture dramatically.
Set us back.
You were encouraged to tell on your neighbors if there were too many cars in the driveway, or you weren't wearing your mask in the front yard, or you were in Nova Scotia. They made some rules just 2 weeks ago. It's illegal to go into the woods. You may not go into the woods in Nova Scotia, or you'll be fined $25,000. So again, you know, some of this is cultural shaping, where they say, "Hey, we want to see what people will tolerate." But the pandemic situation was devastating to social health.
Yeah. So when's the last time you wrote a letter?
Ooh, by hand?
Yeah.
Well, I send cards a lot.
Do
Does
you?
that count? I send cards to people in here every week.
Well, like, are they pre-printed
No.
and you just sign them?
No.
Okay, you write a letter.
If you sent
write a
sent
note?
a friend or family member to our practice, I will send you a handwritten thank you card.
I'm talking about. Yeah, I mean that's still
You mean
counts.
back before when that was the only mode of communication? Like if I were going to send a letter to my uncle in Oklahoma before
that
the
kind of
internet,
thing.
it would have to
Yes.
be a letter where you sat down and wrote it. But
Like
the last
sending
time-
to Uncle Gary, like sending a handwritten letter to Uncle Gary. Or
I sent
that's-
typewritten letters to Dr. Moon.
Yes.
You know, again, this is pre-internet. So when
Right.
I was looking for a place to land before graduation, I did communicate with my mentor with a typewriter or some handwritten notes.
Yeah. So do you like when I get a note from my mom?
Yes.
There is a true emotional impact
Yes.
that affects me from
course.
just seeing her
It's
handwriting.
very different than a typewritten or a communicated or a computerized transaction.
Yeah. I just feel like it's another one of those lost things, you know, like the
Can be.
gardening,
Yeah.
sewing and making our own clothes. Like my
I don't think
grandmother,
kids even learn how to write in cursive anymore.
I think that's true. And we used to have home ec in school. Did you guys have home ec?
Of course.
Yeah.
Why do you think I'm such a good ironer?
It's because I don't iron.
Because I'm good at it.
You are good at it.
You don't need to
You
do
learned it in home ec?
The girls would bring me their clothes to iron. They would never have you do it. I'm good at it.
You're way better than me. You're way better than me. So do you want to pick something that we could try to revive in the next week?
Ooh, maybe. That is a solid maybe.
If you were gonna pick one, would you garden, sew something, barter something, use our front porch as a social hub?
I'm sitting on the front porch with beer.
Yeah. Watching cars zip by at 55 miles an hour. Hey, ho.
Letter writing.
I can sit there naked and nobody would know. It's a 55-mile-an-hour road.
Okay. Well, I'm
pretty sure that guy was naked.
thinking out of all of these things, the bartering or the letter writing would suit you.
I love bartering. And I
know. Yeah. You do.
I would always rather have some kind of transaction, even just cash money. I like spending paper money, which is also going to go away. But yeah, anything that makes transactions more personal, I think is going to be beneficial. A handwritten letter would be super smart.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. It makes me want to do that.
Yeah.
It's easy to get out of the habit. I think that's what I'm going to do. Is that what you're going to do too?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. I promise not to
solid
hold
maybe.
you accountable.
My handwriting is so horrible. I would hate to be the recipient of my letter.
It has changed over the years.
It's terrible.
Terrible.
I would have to really and I would use cursive. I don't even know if I can write in cursive anymore.
Really? Let's see. We're going to do a little experiment. Oh, there. Hello. That's what his is too.
Yeah, it is kind of a.
You want to show?
Terrible.
You want to hold it up there?
No.
Come on, just raise it up there. Are you trying again? Are you signing your name? Oh, that's sweet, babe. I know what that says.
That's terrible. That's the first cursive I've written in 25, 30 years.
If anybody can read that, I'm not going to say what it says. If anybody can read that, we'll send you a prize. Oh. Let us know. Be the first one to comment.
Dolores will get it.
Dolores will get it.
Dolores gets me.
We'll just give it to her when she's here. We're excited that she's going to be on the podcast.
I forgot how to make a capital cursive I. Wow.
Can you say violet zebra's xylophone?
Violet zebra xylophone?
You mean write it?
Oh. Is that one that you had to do?
No, I was just thinking of all the hardest, the most forgotten cursive letters.
I write in cursive a lot, so it's easy for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I can do it.
Good job,
It's
babe.
horrible, but I can do it.
That's awesome.
Never mind.
Never mind.
All right, I'm not. If you get a handwritten letter from me, I'll apologize now.
Okay, so if we'll challenge them too. We'll challenge our listeners
Oh, it'll
and
give you
viewers.
something to do.
And
sit around the table with your kids, teach them cursive, and then send it in.
Yeah.
Like if you can whip out some cursive with your kids, we want to know.
Yeah, write a note, cook a meal, sit on the porch, chat with a neighbor. Let us know what you do, and we'll see you next week.
What do we want them to do, though?
If you're up for it, like, subscribe, and follow, please. See you later.
See you
Bye.
next time. I think that then the Ark Encounter people should sponsor this episode.
I
We
would.
got to start charging for this.
Feel free to reach out to them. I did actually, on Facebook, I did become one of their top fans. I got a badge.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
look at you.
Yeah, the Ark Encounter, I think because I tagged them in our post.
I think it's funny. People don't realize, like, same with the cannoli guy. He doesn't realize what he got himself into by saying yes to you or treating you nice, because then you get a picture and it goes up on your soch.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, he's famous from you, and he didn't even know you were
He
famous.
was famous well before me.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, he's got it going on down there in Covington.
Okay, thank you.
Why did I need to finish that sentence?
He's got it going on down there. You tell me.
Okay,
The cannoli guy's got it going on down there.
I did not think about
Well,
it.
that's a Lisaism. We don't have very many of those.